so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh, girl, nah, nah. Ooh, girl, nah, nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh, girl, nah, nah. Ooh, girl, nah, nah. Sign me up with dreams, the only thing I need. When I'm down, lift me up with your company. There's no telling what you and me creating. We're on the same wavelength. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, make you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my money, make you look so lovely. Never feeling lonely. Baby girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. You're my island, tray of diamonds. Big what's fake, help me find you. You're a blessing, reminiscing of the time when I found myself guessing. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, let you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my money, make you look so lovely. Never feeling lonely. Baby girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah.
Hello, everyone. Can everybody hear me? Happy Thursday. Another day down, another day closer to the clowning. Deep breaths, everybody, deep breaths. We're going to get to it. We're going to get over it. You know, I was having a conversation with Lightside earlier today, and I said, all these years ago, almost over 2 decades ago, in 1997, when my mum told me to put on my coat and said, we're going to the palace to lay flowers for Diana, I had no idea that we would be here, that this community would be here. And I just think, my gosh, it's some kind of divine timing that this is where we are and all of this is happening the way it's happening. It's like Diana's spirit waited all these years to strike at the right time. And barely a week to go until the clowning, until Charles's clowning. And so much about this institution and the press that it connives with is coming out. And this is all happening on the backdrop of some of the biggest social upheaval that we have seen in the United Kingdom for a generation. It's just wild. Like, I had to take a moment today to just have a deep breath and take a step back and go, wow, who would have ever thought that this is where we'd be? But it's where we are. And this is why I believe that no matter how crazy things are getting, Harry and Meghan will come out winners and justice will be served, not just for them, but for the whole of the UK. Because, as I always say, this isn't just about Harry and Meghan anymore. This is about these people. Where's the picture? This is about the Murdoch, Rothermere, Barclays, Press Baron institution. You know, I was listening to a clip from, I think it was Jeremy Vine this morning, and one of these palace mouthpieces was saying, well, of course, William is going to cooperate with the press. He's the heir, he's the future king. Saying that as if it's okay. That is not okay. If we do not have an independent press that is independent from institutions like the monarchy, we don't have a free press. What we have is a propaganda machine. There's meant to be a separation of the two because the monarchy is essentially an arm of the state. There should be a separation between the press and the state. And that separation means that they can both, if necessary, hold each other accountable. If the state is stepping out of line, well, then the press can hold them accountable. If the press is stepping out of line, then the state can, to a degree that still respects the democracy, step in or at least just be critical. And all we have is a press establishment that is not interested in actual news. What we have is a clickbait, outrage, industrial complex that feeds into people's emotions to generate clicks, and that protects the powerful and the wealthy. And that includes the royals and the monarchy. And I think what's so disappointing about William not going forward with his lawsuit and settling is that this is a class action lawsuit that Harry and the other individuals that have decided to take this all the way until the end are part of. So really, it was in the interest of all involved, directly in the phone hacking suit, but also in the interest of the public who deserve to know when the press is corrupt. It was in the interest of everyone that William continues and that he does not settle. But we know that he settled with Murdoch because he has his own secrets to hide. The secrets of which we have speculated many times here. I don't think I have to repeat it. But I'm starting to wonder whether or not there's actually other things that we know. Because if you want to talk about royal scandals, love children and mistresses are just the norm. It's not anything that's destroyed the monarchy before. I don't think it would be anything that destroys the monarchy now. So I'm starting to wonder, is there anything else we need to know about William? I do have my suspicions beyond rosebush antics and potential, baby rose bushes. However, I will not say them now. I'm going to hold my tongue, but I do think there's a couple of other skeletons in William's closet. And also Charles's as well. and Camilla's. Right, that was my very long introduction, but welcome to the podcast, everyone. Please hit that thumbs up button and the subscribe button, and let's get to it, shall we? Please continue to send your prayers to Church Nelly. Haven't heard any updates yet, but I do hope that she is okay. Right, let me just see if we can catch some of your comments before we go on to the first thing today. Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of truths coming out. Yeah, all they had to do was treat Meghan with respect. And something else that I was talking about with Lightside today is, have you ever been in an argument with someone and they just get into such a rage that they can't see themselves? They just can't see how out of control they are. They're just seeing red like a bull. And that's what I think is happening now with the other royals and these press cronies. They are so um now just being driven by anger and rage at Harry and Meghan. They're not looking at the bigger picture. They look crazy because people like Dan Wooten, people like Piers Morgan, they're not even saying that anything that Harry has said or that's coming out of this court case is a lie. You haven't heard any of them say that Harry is lying. All you've heard over the last 24 to 48 hours is them calling him an imbecile, saying recollections may vary. I mean, I'll get into the tweets in a minute. But nobody has actually denied any of the claims. Something to think about. Right, actually, before we go into royal news, let's do some life updates. I got my hair braided. I had the most amazing hair braiding experience. Completely off topic. We'll get back to the royal thing in a minute. I had the most amazing hair braiding experience today. And actually, the lady that did my hair was Georgian. She is such an amazing braider. And not only that, I just had such a great time at her house. She was so welcoming. Her aunt was there. The kids were running around. And people keep asking me, what is it like being black in Georgia? What are the people like? Are the people welcoming? And yes, they really, really are. I haven't had any problems here at all. And especially today, I felt very, very welcomed. Her aunt actually invited me back to do some traditional Georgian cooking. She said she wants to show me how to bake some bread. And yeah, I even found a Georgian lady to braid my hair. So yeah, if you're ever thinking about coming to Tbilisi, Georgia, and you're like, oh my God, where am I going to get my hair done? There are actually plenty of Georgians that can do Afro hair too. Surprise, surprise. And yes, do feel welcome to come and visit. There's lots to see and do here. Haven't even scratched the surface. And now that the sun has come out, I'll be able to explore a little bit more. So that was a life update from moi. Okay, back to the royal stuff. But yeah, all these people right here, I mean, it's a fight for their lives. Both sides are literally fighting for their lives at this point. And for what? Murdoch and Morgan, all of this hatred in your heart for what? For this one woman. These two old men and their whole establishment flipping out and freaking out over this one woman. I think that there's a lot of things that are going to come out about Piers Morgan in this court case, not just in regards to how he encouraged the stalking of Diana and other celebrities, but also some personal things as well. Enough, I would love nothing more than to see him on the dock having to answer to the judge, because he's not going to be able to have an attitude for the judge. However, I also do think that in hindsight, that lunch that he had with Camilla a couple of weeks ago, I think was basically a sign that he has been given a card of immunity, at least from the institution. and that they are going to protect him. That was basically them saying, we're going to protect this individual. And we should have known back then that something was coming. I think they knew from back then, and they were making it very clear. Now, why Camilla would want to be seen with Piers Morgan, knowing that this was coming, is anyone's guess. The only explanation that I could think of is that she wants the press to be on her side. But now that people are starting to see what's going on and what the press are doing, do you really want the whole world to see that Piers Morgan is your biggest cheerleader? Because you may get the British press on your side. You're not going to get the rest of the global press on your side. You're not going to get the public on your side. Mind you, they already hate you because they see you as the woman that ruined Diana's life. I feel like they just don't know what they're doing anymore. And it's like I was saying, they're just so driven by rage now that they just see red. They can't see sense. Boy. Yeah, Adrian, we all know that William wants Harry's lifestyle, but I think it's just too late now. There's no going back. There really is no going back from all of this. Thank you so much for the comments about my hair. Oh, Lydia, actually, that's a very good question. How long did it take to do my hair? Well, because it was her and her sister, they did it in like 4 hours. So usually it would take about 7 or 8, especially for braids that size. But there was 2 of them working at the same time. So I got it done really quickly. Tonya makes me wonder who looks got snatched back from the 2 men on the right. Oh yeah. When you are so full of evil, it's like stress. I mean, how are you gonna be as rich as Rupert Murdoch is and be looking like this? Not that we aren't allowed to age. We're allowed to age. But this right here, I mean, he looks like he's melting. He has aged rather ungracefully. Right, on to the next thing. On to the actual royal news. Shout out to The Guardian, who is doing an amazing series, by the way, on the Crown. Lots of articles have been digging, doing freedom of information requests, doing actual journalism, all in the lead up to the Coronation. And they did put the Piers Morgan story, knowing about phone hacking, on the front cover. Over in Scotland, they are saying absolutely not my king. Survey showing almost 3/4 of people in Scotland do not care about the forthcoming coronation of the king, according to research. By the way, when he does get crowned, I believe that he does do a tour of the 4 nations. England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And not that they'll be welcome there, but because their egos take over everything, they will probably go to Ireland as well. Right, on to this. Yeah, we've been having hair discourse from the likes of Sarah Vine and others. Apparently, Meghan's straight hair and centre part is an anti-monarchy hairstyle, and she's going to bring down Britain, the monarchy, because of her hair. Her new look, according to Sarah Niggling Feeling Vine, shows a highly ambitious woman who knows what she wants and is determined to get it. Now, I don't see what the hell is wrong with that. That's projection right there on Sarah Vine's part. Because what are you meant to be in this life other than a highly ambitious woman who knows what she wants and is determined to get it? Was she not determined to be a Westminster wag? Heck, she bagged Michael Gove. So what's wrong with being ambitious, Miss Vine? As Natasha Devon said, all those times I felt unmotivated and unsure of exactly what I wanted. It wasn't because I live in a relentless and confusing world and life is tiring. It's because checks notes. I didn't straighten my hair enough. Good to know. Thanks, Dr. Vine. Like, this is where we are now. And all I have to say to this is, I'm not embarrassed. This is really embarrassing. Like, Britain is not even a real place at this point, because how do we have headlines like this only in the Daily Mail, right? Also on the Daily Mail, this happened. Now I don't have the video because I wasn't able to upload it in time. But basically, Charles showed up for a visit. Now there were children there. Yes, there was a lady giving out flags to give Charles and Camilla a welcome. They got children to line up to give a welcome to 2 adulterers. How nice for the children. Now, the BBC was claiming that the Republic protesters who were also there were shouting, "Not my king." And that in response to their "Not my king," the children were shouting, "He's our king." That is not true. The Republic were not shouting, "Not my king." I find it just horrific that they are using children like this in this insane propaganda. These are just kids. I would be curious to know whether or not their parents knew that they were going to be standing there. And I would like to know how their parents feel about their children being used like this, being splashed all over the Daily Mail as part of this circus. I can't even believe that I'm looking at this headline. Children, school children being put on the front page of the Daily Mail like this. Gordon Bennett. Yeah. Chucky Boot again. Yeah, it's disgusting to use children like this. Yeah, Edith, they have truly lost the battle. Like, if you have to stoop this low, they have truly lost the battle. Now, I just don't know what to say, to be honest. And there is no way that I would be allowing my child to go near adulterers like this. This is not okay. Because those kids don't even know how their image is being used. They didn't consent to this. And they are probably not even really understanding what is going on with this unroyal mafia the way an adult would. Sorry, give me a second, folks. The computer is learning very slowly today. Oh, did I go on mute for a second there? Okay, so I've decided that I am going to be watching the Coronation and streaming at the same time. But it will be like I'll start when things really start to kick off, maybe in the second hour or so. So if you cannot stand the insufferable commentary of the BBC, come over, we'll have a party in the live chat, and you can watch either the Sky News feed or the BBC feed on your TV or computer. And then I'll be doing commentary. I might even take some live calls while that's going on. And we can have a good old chinwag, and then of course we'll have the big show in the evening. Okay? So do please come and join me. Now, on to Piss Moron. This man is shitting bricks. So, as we all know, Piss Morgan has blocked me because I reminded him that his ratings were dwindling and that had him pressed like a panini, pressed like a ham and cheese panini, and so he blocked me. So thank you to the person who sent me this. And this is what Piss Moron tweeted in response to Harry's statement on Tuesday. Oh dear, our prince's privacy's recollections varying again. When is this permanently angry, narcissistic little twerp going to stop whining, stop suing, stop trashing his family, stop damaging the monarchy, and just shut up? He does not say that anything that Harry said was false. He does not deny anything. All he does is attack. And reminder again, Camilla was at lunch with this man only a few weeks ago. You have to be really, really desperate to get any type of good coverage if you are willing to buddy up to Piers Morgan. And the same with Beatrice as well, earlier this week. I believe that she did that because she's trying to help her dad. But sometimes you have to let your parents take the hit for their own failures. Don't then unload those failures onto you. Beatrice is still quite a young lady. She's got a long life to live. She wants to carry the burden of her father's mistakes for the rest of her life. Fergie's not even married to that man anymore, and she still carries those burdens. And I don't know if it's because she feels guilty because apparently it was her idea for him to do the interview. I don't know. But I just don't think that this is something that she has to do or needed to do. When our parents mess up, we have to let them take the fall. Very bad decision on her part. And as and when the press want to, they will absolutely turn on her. She may think that she's also saving herself and her dad, but in the end, what the press cares about is their bottom line. Period. Okay. Yeah, Janine, that whole scene with the kids was terrible on so many levels. Wendy, I hope it rains with thunder and lightning on Coronation Day. Well, it's my weather app. Does it update all the way until? Let's have a look. What's it saying on the weather app? Even though I heard that they can apparently shoot down rain clouds nowadays. Weather in London. Okay, so I can see all the way up until, yes, next Saturday it's actually going to be about 16. And it doesn't look like there's going to be any rain. So it will be like a very mild spring day. So I don't think it's going to rain, no. It will just be like a little bit cloudy. So no thunder and lightning. Sorry. I feel like we'll get thunder and lightning in other ways. Oh, apparently they're going to sit Harry 10 seats back from the front. Like this was the headline. As if that's a bad thing for Harry. As far away from the stench of Camilla that he can be, I think is best for Harry. Like, absolutely put him at the back. So he can be as far away from that nonsense as possible. You would think, going into a court case, that Piers Morgan, this is the one time that he would be quiet. But obviously, he's been promised something by the institution. I don't even think I trust those judges. Because remember, the judges of the United Kingdom are His Majesty's judges. And don't forget also, they were phone hacking the judges back in the day as well. So you don't know what they've got on the judges. What? TMZ reported that the Daily Mail might have reported on a fake death story on a person that doesn't exist. It was a person that supposedly died from many plastics. What? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Not that TMZ is any better, but See this? Are you sure it's not going to rain? It's British weather you're talking about. Well, Google is telling me that it's not going to rain. So we're going to go by what Google says, at least for now anyway. Could change. Yeah, exactly, Joan Commonwealth. It means that when he slips out the door, they won't even know. Yeah, they should sit him as close to the door as possible. Like, there's so much about hierarchy that they don't understand that they're actually doing Harry a favor. Put that man on the back seat, right at the back. So as soon as it's finished, he can get on his plane and go back home. Actually, well, no, he can't go back home because he's still got the court case. So as soon as it's finished, he can go out the door and go back to wherever he's staying and get ready for his court case to finish him off. Right, next thing. Yeah, so what's interesting now to reflect on, now that all of this is coming out, oh dear, I've ruined my slide because I've put Harry's statement over the backslide. But basically, I guess it kind of works actually, looks kind of good. It's now interesting to think back to the timeline of things and what was happening when all of this with the settlement with the son was happening, right? With William. And would this now explain why there was this sudden push from nowhere? Because I couldn't understand it when it was happening. Why was there this sudden push to go after Martin Bashir and to shut down, the Diana interview that everybody and their grandmother has already seen? Why did they want to get it, removed from British TV? Is it the whole of the other, rest of the world doesn't have access to it? I mean, HBO just did a Diana documentary and they used the footage. The footage is all over the place online. So why were they so desperate to make sure that no UK broadcaster ever uses that footage again? Why was there this sudden push to clamp down on Diana's own words? And no matter what you think about Martin Bashir or how that interview was obtained, there was absolute truth to what Diana said. And whether or not Martin Bashir obtained that interview, by nefarious means, or even if he'd managed just to get it fair and square, Diana would have said the same thing. And do you know how we know Diana would have said the same thing? Because she said it, and even more, to Andrew Morton. But notice they haven't even gone after Andrew Morton. And it also might explain, given the deal that was done with Murdoch and William getting his settlement, why he stood there in front of the whole world and called his mother paranoid. But Harry, in his statement on Tuesday, claps back. And he says, it also proves that my mum wasn't paranoid after all. She was quite right. Indeed, she was. They were tracking her. They were hacking her phone. Ransacking journalists' apartments. Was it not Andrew Morton that had his apartment ransacked? And they were probably hacking him too. And let's not forget this paragraph from Spare, where Harry says, among all the different righteous emotions coursing through my brother that afternoon, one really jumped out at me. He seemed aggrieved. He seemed put upon that I wasn't meekly obeying him, that I was being so impertinent as to deny him or defy him to refute his knowledge, which came from his trusted aides, the vipers in grey suits, the snakes in black, the reptiles in green, the bees and the wasps. There was a script here, and I had the audacity not to be following it. He was in full air mode and couldn't fathom why I wasn't dutifully playing the role of despair. William is completely taken by this institution. Diana said it herself. They will raise the spare, they will raise the heir, I the spare. Those were Diana's own words. And that's why William and Harry have turned out completely different. William wants that crown. And he's so angry at his brother that he's not even looking at the whole of the rest of the world. Honey, the rest of the world is done with this institution. They are done. You're so busy going after your brother as if it's your brother, the one who is stopping you from becoming the king that you want to become. When actually, William, it's the world. The world is done with this institution. A lot of Britain is done with this institution. And this is what I said at the beginning of the podcast. Seeing red in a fit of rage, they can't even see themselves and how ridiculous they look. Right, I just wanted to end on this. Now, there was a claim that William's settlement was given to charity. But there has been some disputes about this, and I saw a really interesting thread from Emily here. So let's go through this. Number one, the claim that Williams' 1 million settlement went to Invictus comes from this 2021 Sky News article. But this is wrong because A, the 1.1 million figure listed below is in Australian dollars and not pounds, and B, the sum was Harry transferring the Endeavour Fund as he and Meghan left the UK in 2020. The Daily Mail, cited in the Sky News article, originally spun this story mentioning that Invictus received over £500,000 from the Royal Foundation. However, because they're dogs, they never clarified that it was money from the Endeavour Fund that Harry raised as a senior royal. Harry started the Endeavour Fund as a way to help veterans when he, William, and Kate all operated under the Royal Foundation umbrella. In 2022, he moved the fund away from the Royal Foundation. In 2020, he moved the fund away from the Royal Foundation and into the Invictus Games. But it was his fund. People magazine also covered the merger. The Endeavour Fund, which Harry established to support the ambitions of wounded, injured, and sick service personnel and veterans, announced Monday that they are now part of the Invictus Games Foundation. On page 32 of the Royal Foundation's 2020 financial statement, it lists the sum as a transfer of Harry's Endeavour Fund to the Invictus Games. Basically, this was Harry taking his ish with him as he and Meghan set out on their own. He raised the money. So now that we've established that Prince William did not donate £1 million to the Invictus Games, the question is, where did the money go? Why didn't William and Kate use it for a PR opportunity at the time? And why haven't they named the charity or charities? The fact that the settlement wasn't celebrated as a victory when the money supposedly went to charity shows that there is something really shady going on here. The royals never missed a chance to brag about their charitable activities, and yet they wanted to keep this quiet. Clearly, there's a cleanup around this story happening, but let's not forget the central point. William received a payout from a tabloid over privacy while telling Harry not to sue to protect his. It's deceitful, hypocritical, and pretty despicable of the Prince of Wales. As the next king, this is a matter of public interest. William is not a private citizen, regular celebrity. He's a taxpayer-funded future head of state. Is it okay for a country's leader to make secret deals with the media? Where is the transparency? The people need answers. And with that, I am done with today's podcast. We'll wrap up as always with your comments, and thank you so much, everyone, for your continued support of this channel. And we've come this far. We've got to believe that the truth will win. Because if it doesn't, and we don't get to find out exactly what is going on here, I honestly think that this is the last chance to hold Murdoch, Rothermere, the press establishment, the tabloid press establishment, in the UK accountable. I don't see any other way. Because we're really getting to see how the inner dealings work through the messiness of the royals. Thank you also to the person who bought free coffees. You stayed anonymous. Thank you so much. Yeah, Rhonda, the cameras will be wherever Harry is seated. Carlin, gosh, imagine Harry eyeball to eyeball with Wills after all that's come out this week. I don't think that, aside from the coronation, that Harry and William will ever be in the same room that close again. Definitely not where no one is looking. Yeah, true though. Harry needs to be as far away from these criminals as possible. Because I really do think that now they just see Harry as the enemy. Oh, dear, oh dear. Trinette, I told myself that watching the clowning, the conning, would be a game day decision. Now I think I will have my eyes on it after all. I mean, after everything that has come, right? If the ratings for the coronation actually turn out good, it will be because of all of this drama. Let's not let them twist it and be like, oh, everyone wanted to see Charles get crowned. No, everyone wanted to see the drama. Let's just be real. We're allowed to be petty. That's why everybody tuned in. If you see those ratings and they're in the millions, that's the real reason everybody tuned in. Yes, Carlin, imagine how terrifying it must be to have your phone hacked and to think that it's your family and friends that are leaking. When actually, it's two ugly old mugs on the screen here that were doing the hacking. Ugh. You said that Piss Moron is like a scratch record. He says the same thing about Harry and Meghan all the time. I saw somebody posted something about. Hang on a sec. I think I had it in my phone. Give me a second, folks. Where is it now? Where is it now? Okay, I can't find it, but somebody had actually tallied the number of times that Piers Morgan had mentioned Meghan, and it was a lot. Can't keep her out of his mouth. Mina, you said William is going to get a rude awakening if he thinks he's getting bad press now. He better think twice about wanting that crown. Listen, wait, where is that slide I had? Do you remember when Mr. Jonathan Dean tweeted, "My God, I can't wait until the papers can talk about Prince William freely," and then he deleted that tweet with a quickness. Deleted that tweet with a quickness, but we screen printed it. The internet remembers everything. Like this other Twitter commentator said, actually, I'm telling you, there is something really bad in that royal closet. Really bad. And it has to do with William. Affairs and secret love children are not it. That has been the standard for royals for centuries. Whatever it is, it has people very worried. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm not going to put it out what I think it is now. But I do believe that there's something else. I do. I have like 3 or 4 different theories, and I think it actually might be all of them. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, Valerie, actual demons. Trader CC, you said, if the BBC, the propaganda arm of the royal family, will be step by step to edit what is acceptable to publish. That is why, if you can, if you're watching, make sure that you record as much of the live feed as possible. I don't know if they may even do it on a delay to be able to live edit. They do that sometimes. But if you can, record the live feed, because we saw this with the Queen's funeral. You had booing on some parts of live feed, and then they edited it out afterwards. And then they managed to get the mainstream media in the UK to basically agree to never air anything of the Queen's funeral without permission. That's how tightly controlled they want everything. Trinette said, we all have to pray for Harry's safety. With all of the new info out, his security needs will be a priority. At the same time, the royals knew this was going to happen. Yeah. Cookies and Cream, you said, the unroyals have lost so much credibility globally. They will forever be stained with racism, corruption, intolerance, and hypocrisy. Indeed. But now, at least, more is starting to come out than I think I had ever imagined would. I'm stunned. Sandra, can we see the clowning with you? No, I'm not going to put the live feed on the screen because I don't know how the copyright police will feel about that. So I'll have the live feed probably just going on in the background, but you'll be watching the same feed. If you're watching either the Sky News feed or the BBC feed, I'll have both open. You'll be watching the same feed and you can watch it online. I think usually BBC and Sky do a live feed on their YouTube channels. So you'll see what I'm seeing. We'll just be talking about it in the chat. I can't risk putting the live feed up on my stream because copyright police will might come after me. Yeah, Anna, they need more than holy water to be anointed, these two adulterers. Apparently it's holy oil from the olive trees of some sacred mountain. Valerie, are we going to have a birthday party for Archie? I don't care about the clown. Of course. There are spaces running on Twitter. So, if anything comes up about Archie's birthday, I will mention it, of course. But to be honest, I think that there's only so much I can do on this channel as far as, like a birthday party for Archie. Whereas on Twitter, they're actually going to have spaces rooms, and they usually actually play music in spaces. I wouldn't be able to play music here because of copyright. And they've been working very hard on the posters and promotion. So respectfully, I do like to give, other squaddies space, when they make the effort to organize things. So if you want to join Archie's birthday party, then go over to Twitter, please. I encourage you to go over, and I will definitely be posting links and sharing what they're doing on Twitter. They always do an amazing job on spaces. And I don't think I've heard anything about a fundraising. I don't think anybody really organized anything, but that's fine. I'm sure there'll be one either for Lily's birthday or obviously for Harry and Meghan. So sometimes we don't always have to do a fundraiser. Sometimes let's just enjoy the moment. Okay, but I encourage you to go over to spaces if you want to enjoy Archie's birthday party, because I'm pretty sure that they will be playing music. Yes, Patty G, that oil gone burn their heads. Burn. No problem, Valerie. Right. That is all from me. Have a lovely day, everyone. And yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. Let's see what tomorrow brings. We'll see if Piers Morgan has recovered from his stomach bug yet. Ciao.
Baby girl, you're so fine. I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Sign me up with dreams, it's the only thing I need. When I'm done, lift me up with your company. There's no telling what you and me creating. We're on the same wavelength. Feel the beat tonight. Something good inside. Set you free, make you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation. Make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my money. me find you. You're a blessing, reminiscing of the time when I found myself guessing. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, we can lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my money, make you look so lovely, never feeling lonely. Baby girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah, ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex, dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh